Welcome back, dear students and friends. In the previous session, we have started with chapter number 4, Reproductive Health. You know that reproductive health is necessary to generate a healthy society. In India, we have taken a certain measures to develop a reproductively healthy society. In the previous session, we have also learned the definition of this reproductive health. That means it is a healthiness of a reproductive system. But when we talk about the WHO definition, it is total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, including physical, emotional, social and behavioral aspects. So this is called as reproductive health. Lots of programs have been launched by India. India was one of the country who has started such program first in the worldwide. We have launched such programs in the name of family planning. Then we have also launched under the name RCH, Reproductive and Child Healthcare Programs. Okay. The ultimate aim or the basic aim of this is to control the population. One of the aim is to control the population and stabilize the population, because in India the population is growing at a rate of 2%. Means every year for every 1000 population or a people, 20 new birth are there. Okay, and that is too high, because if this continue, it may produces a scarcity of resources like land, water, food to us. So there is a need to control the population, and to control these populations, various kind of awareness have been started. Like there is a one famous slogan, "Hum do, hamare do." That means we too, ours too. Okay, so this is a slogan which is famous one, because that is aimed to control the population. Now you know the some population or people who are living in urban areas, and it may happen that both of them might be working. They have limited to only a one child. Okay, so there is a one child program have been launched. So there are a number of ways by which we are trying to control the population in India. But one of the effective way to control this population is through a contraception method. So today we have to learn the contraception, or you can say a birth control methods. Okay, what we have to learn? Contraception or contraceptive methods, or in commonly we call it as birth control method, because this is an effective strategy to control the population. If we are able to control the birth, then this is an effective strategy to control the population. So before we start the different types of birth control method, we are starting with which are the ideal characteristics or properties of this contraception. Okay, so what are the ideal properties of contraceptive methods? How it should be? Okay, one of the characteristics. So we start with ideal properties of contraceptive method. Okay, what are the ideal properties of contraceptive method? The first property, or what is the ideal characteristic of it? The first ideal characteristic, it should be a user friendly. Means everyone can use. The method should not be too much complicated, that is it makes a difficulty for a user. Second is it should be easily available. It is available worldwide, or it is available in all the parts of a country, so everyone can use it effectively. Third is it should be a reversible. Means it should not be a permanent one. It should not be a permanent one. Okay, because if it is a permanent one, then it has a disadvantage. So it should be a reversible. Next one, it should be economical. Economical in a such a way that it is going to be used by different populations. Okay, next it should have no side effect or least side effect. No side effect or a minimum or least side effect. Okay, it should not producing any kind of adverse or the side effects. So this is a next characteristic. Next, one more characteristic what it requires is, you can say that they do not interfere with sexual desire of user. Clear? So these are the few ideal properties of contraceptive method. So which are the ideal properties of contraceptive method? It should be a user friendly, it should be a easily available, it should be a reversible, should not be a permanent one, it should be economical, so most of the part can use it, it should not have any side effect, or if it has, they have a least or very minimum side effect, it does not interfere with sexual desire of a user. So these are the characteristics what it needs. If the contraceptive methods follows this characteristic, then that is considered as ideal contraceptive. But we don't have such kind of an ideal contraceptive available. It may happen that there are few adverse effects or few disadvantages are associated with it. So what are the different contraceptive methods? So now we have to start what are the different contraceptive methods. So see which are the different contraceptive methods. The first contraceptive method, you can say that it is a physical barrier method. Okay, the first one is called as physical barrier method. The second contraceptive method is chemical barrier method. So it is also a barrier method, but the first one is physical barrier, the second one is a chemical barrier method. The third one, it's called as IUD. Okay, that means I means intra, U means uterine, and D means devices. So this is the third one. Okay, the fourth method is oral contraceptive pills. Oral contraceptive pills. This is the fourth method. Next, fifth method is, you can say injectables or implants. Clear? Next, sixth method is surgical method. Okay. The seventh one is natural method. Okay. So these are the different contraceptive methods. Remember, students, these are very important. Most of the times the question from this method is going to ask. Okay, we will discuss all the methods in detail, but remember what are the different contraceptive or the birth control methods are available. Okay, first is physical barrier method, the second is chemical barrier method, third one is called as IUDs, that means called as intrauterine devices, fourth is called as oral contraceptive method, fifth one is injective or implants, sixth is called as surgical method, and the seventh is called as natural method. Okay, so these are the different methods which are going to be available. Okay, we have to discuss each method in detail because any of the method from this might going to be asked in examination. Okay, so starting with first one, this is called as barrier methods. First two are the barrier method. First is called as physical barrier method and the second one is called as a chemical barrier method. So let's start. What is the principle of barrier method or the how the barrier method works? See, they are barriers. Okay. So what is a barrier? Barrier is some kind of a hurdle which prevents a meeting of a sperm and ovum. So this is a barrier which prevents a meeting of sperm and ovum meeting is prohibited or prevented. So in this one barrier method, there is some barrier which prevents a meeting of sperm and ovum. This is called as barrier method. This is called as barrier method. Clear? So barrier can be of two types. First is called as physical barrier and the second one is called as chemical barrier. Let's start individual one. First is called as physical barrier method. In a physical barrier method, there is a presence of physical barrier. There is a something which is present physically, so which prevents a meeting of sperm and the ovum. Okay, and one of the famous physical barrier method, here there is a presence of physical barrier, and one of the most common and the acceptable method is use of condoms. Okay, this is the physical barrier. So what it is? The condom is, it is made up of a thin rubber. Remember, it's made up of a thin rubber or latex. Okay, it's made up of a thin rubber or the latex. It is going to be used to cover either it covers the penis or it covers the vagina and cervix in a female. Okay, it going to be either used, it is either used to cover the penis in a male or it's used to cover the vagina and cervix in a female. That means there is a misconception. That means condom is only meant for a male. This is wrong. The condom is meant for both a penis. That means it's going to be meant for a male and as well as it is also meant for a female. Okay. But here the part which is going to be used, a male condom is covered on a penis. Okay, and the female condom that is covered onto a vagina and cervix, so which prevent a meeting of a sperm and ovum. Okay, so condoms can be of two types, male condom as well as a female condom, but the male condom are famously available. Okay, so one of the famous condom that is going to be available, this is the famous brand which is going to be available, it is called as Nerode. This is the commonly available one. Okay, this is the commonly available condom that is present. Okay, clear? Any doubt? Okay, clear students? So this is condom. It's made up of a thin rubber or latex. It is going to be used by a male to cover the penis or it is used by a female to cover the vagina and the cervix. In both the cases they prevent a meeting of sperm and ovum and thus the fertilization and conception. Okay, that means pregnancy does not occur. Okay. Next, the famous condom is, it's going to be a Nerode. So here there is a misconception and misbelief that condom can only be used by a male. That is wrong. It is for both male as well as female. But yes, the structure of both male condom and the female condom is different one. Okay. Now another physical barrier method is by use of diaphragm, cervical caps and valves. These are the other, okay, these are the other physical barrier method. Which are the diaphragm, cervical caps or valves. This diaphragm, cervical caps or the valves, they are only going to be used by female. A male cannot use it, remember. Okay, which one? Diaphragm, cervical caps and the valve. They are used to cover the cervix. It's used to cover the cervix. Okay, they are similarly like condoms. They are also made up of a thin rubber. They are also made up of a thin rubber. Okay, and that is used to cover the cervix in a female. So that is only used by a female. Okay, so this is the difference between a condom and diaphragm, cervical caps and warts. These two are physical barrier methods. Okay, condom can be used by both male as well as female. In a male it is used to cover the penis. In a female it is used to cover the vagina and cervix. Whereas the other physical barrier methods are diaphragm, cervical caps and warts. They are used to cover the cervix in female. So this is only used by females. Okay. So this is a physical barrier method which prevents a meeting of sperm and ovum. Okay, clear students? Okay, so this is the first method, physical barrier method. Now what are the advantages of this method? The advantage of this method is that it is user friendly because it is going to be used by user itself. No need of use of or take care of medical expert. There is no need of a medical expert is required for using this physical barrier method. It can be used by the human itself or the user itself. Okay. Second one is it is economical, it is cheap one, it is easily available. Okay. And one more advantage is that it is also preventing transmission of sexually transmitted infection. That means AIDS-like diseases cannot be transmitted with the use of such kind of a physical barrier method, specifically with the use of condoms. So that is one more added advantage, and so that's why it is widely acceptable and widely used contraceptive method or a birth control method. Okay, so this is called as physical barrier method. Okay, second is called as chemical barrier method. Okay, the second one is chemical barrier method. Here also a chemical barrier method, it's also a type of a barrier method. So obviously it works on the same principle of barrier. It prevents a meeting of sperm and ovum. Okay, this is called as a chemical barrier method. But instead of physical, there is a presence of chemical as a barrier. So here the chemical can act as a barrier which prevent meeting of sperm and ovum. Okay, and thus the fertilization and conception does not occur. So this type of method is called as chemical barrier method. Here chemicals are going to be used in the form of creams. They are used in form of jellies. They are used in form of foams, etc. Okay, so they are going to be used in the form of creams, jellies or foam, and they are applied into a vagina, or they are also applied into a penis. Okay, so these chemicals are such that they are able to kill the sperm. They kills the sperm. As they are able to kill the sperm, they are the chemicals, they have a capacity to kill the sperm, or they reduces the motility of a sperm. So the fertilization process does not occur, and hence pregnancy does not occur. Means a conception does not occur. So that's why this method is called as contraception method. This is called as contraception method. Now you know that these are the chemicals. They have a capacity to kill the sperm. Okay. So how they kill the sperm? So they inhibit oxygen uptake by a sperm. You know that a sperm, it is a male gamete, that is a one kind of a cell. It needs oxygen, so it takes up the oxygen from the surrounding environment, and oxygen is necessary for its activity or for its energy production. Without oxygen, the cell cannot survive. But the chemical what we have applied, they inhibit this oxygen uptake by a sperm, and once the oxygen is provided to a sperm, it gets killed, and thus it kills a sperm. Okay, and you know that once a sperm is killed, the fertilization is not possible. Means a meeting of sperm and ovum is not possible. One of the chemical that is widely used is, remember this, non-oxynol 9. This is a chemical which is widely used as in a chemical barrier method, non-oxynol 9. Okay, so this is again like a barrier method. What is the advantage of it? It is user friendly, means it can be applied by user itself. No need of a medical expert to apply it. Just we have to apply it like a cream and jellies and foam. Okay, next, second one is it's economical. Okay, it is you can say that it is a reversible method. Okay, so these are the advantages. One more advantage of this is that it is acting as lubricant during sexual intercourse. As it is in the form of creams and jellies and foam, it provides a lubrication during the sexual intercourse. But there is also one disadvantage associated with it, as it is a chemical. See, it is a chemical. Okay, as it is a chemical, it may causes allergy or it may causes hypersensitivity reaction. So chances are that who are not who are sensitive or those who have allergy to this, they should not apply it. So how the allergy should be checked? First, that cream or jelly that should be applied onto some parts of our body except the mucous membrane. You have to keep it for certain time, and if redness or itching or allergy occurs, then it should not be applied to a genital part, okay, or reproductive part. It should not be applied. So it cannot be used by a person who are allergic to this chemical, or it may produces allergies into a sensitive individuals. Those who are sensitive to allergies, in that case it may causes the allergy. This is a disadvantage, okay, of chemical barrier method. So we have finished the first two, physical barrier method, and the another one is called as a chemical barrier method. Both are the barrier methods. We have also discussed its advantages and disadvantages. So you also have to discuss its advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so this is the first two method, physical, and the second is called as chemical barrier method. Now let's discuss the third one. It's called as intrauterine devices. Shortly called as IUD. Okay, what is IUD? Full form of IUD is intrauterine devices. Okay, here these are the devices which are kept in uterus. Where they are kept? They are kept or placed in a uterus by an expert, that is a medical expert, or nurse. Okay, who will keep this? It cannot be used by user itself. User cannot use it. It needs a help of a medical expert to keep it in a uterus. Okay, or it needs a help of a nurse to keep it in a uterus. So these are the devices which are kept into a uterus with the help of a medical expert or the nurse. Such kind of devices are called as intrauterine devices. It's called as intrauterine devices. Clear? These intrauterine devices are of three generations. First generation IUDs, next is second generation IUDs, and next is third generation IUDs. Currently we have these three generation IUD available with us. First, second and third generation IUDs, they are available with us. The first generation IUDs, they are called as non-medicated IUDs. They are non-medicated. Okay, that means they are not coated with any kind of a medicines or chemicals. So that's why this is called as non-medicated IUDs. Okay, how it act? They promote a phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means it is a cell eating process. So what it does, when you kept or when this is placed into a uterus, it promote a process called as phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means it eat or it consume the sperm. So sperm gets killed. Okay, and so that's why the sperm and ovum cannot meet and birth does not take place or pregnancy does not result. Okay, so this is called as first generation IUDs. The another one, it's called as second generation IUDs. After this one, there is an advancement in technology and the new generation comes. This is called as second generation IUDs. Okay, or it is also called as copper IUDs. Okay, very good examples of this copper IUDs are copper T, okay, multi-load 375. This is the example of second generation IUDs, copper T. Okay, so what this copper T does, this is a simple like a devices, but they are coated with a copper. Okay, as they are coated with a copper, it kills or it decreases the sperm. Okay, it kills the sperm and decreases the motility of the sperm. Both can be achieved by this second generation IUDs, what we call it as copper T. So what it releases? It releases the copper in very minute quantities. And what is the function of this copper that is released by it? The copper that is capable of killing the sperm, or they are also capable to decrease the motility, means movement of a sperm. Hence, a sperm cannot reach to an ovum. Okay, this is called as second generation IUDs. Now we have also advancement, and this is called as we have now third generation IUDs. In third generation IUDs, these IUDs are coated with some kind of hormones. Okay, so this is also called as hormonal IUDs. Okay, in which they are coated with the hormones, like for an example, progesterone, LNG 20. These are the third generation IUDs. Okay, they releases a small quantity of a hormone called as progesterone, and due to that, it makes environment of a uterus unsuitable for implantation. Okay, usually you know that once fertilization takes place, the zygote attaches to a wall of a uterus. What we have discussed in the previous chapter, that after fertilization the implantation process takes place. It attaches to a wall of a uterus. That process is called as implantation. But here they releases a small quantity of a hormone called as progesterone. Due to that, it makes the environment of a uterus unsuitable for implantation, means implantation process does not take place, attachment process does not take place. Hence, the zygote which is developed or the blastocyst which is developed is not able to get nutrients. Okay, and thus it cannot survive and the conception or pregnancy does not result. So these are the three generations: first generation, second generation and third generation. First generation is non-medicated IUDs. They promote a phagocytosis. Second generations, they are coated with copper, like copper T, multi-load 375, etc. They releases the copper that kills the sperm or decreases the motility of a sperm. Next is third generation IUDs. They release the small quantity of hormones like progesterone. Examples are progesterone and LNG-20. They makes the environment of uterus unsuitable for implantation process. So this is about the IUDs. See, what is the disadvantage of this method IUD? Here it needs help of an expert, medical expert or a nurse. It is not used by a user itself, like a condom or the physical barrier method can be used by user itself. There is no need of a medical expert or no need of a nurse. Right? So that means there are no questions on privacy. Okay, but here there is a question mark on a privacy because it needs the help of someone, some expert person. Okay, so that is a question mark of a privacy. But yes, still it is also a based method or it is a based spacing method. It is considered as based spacing method. Okay, spacing method means it is a method which is recommended to make a distance between two children, like to make a distance, a proper distance like 3 years, 4 years or 5 years, for this spacing between two child or two children, this method is going to be useful. Okay, so this is the base spacing method. But yes, you have to keep in mind that cannot be used by user itself. It needs help of an expert. Okay, so when a lady doesn't wants to conceive, means doesn't wants to be a pregnant, at that time they keep, or with the help of nurse, they keep IUDs in the uterus and they take it out once they want to be a pregnant. Okay, so until that IUD is present in the uterus, that doesn't leads to a pregnancy. So for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or even lifelong, it can be kept in a uterus to prevent a conception. So this is the second method, what we call it as IUDs. Okay, intra-uterine devices. Okay, now the fourth method is called as oral contraceptive pills. Fourth method is oral contraceptive pills. So what is oral contraceptive pills? They are the pills. Pills means the tablets. Okay, they are taken. These tablets are taken orally, means by mouth. Okay, so these are the tablets as like a simple medication what we take. These are the tablets which should be taken orally. As they should be taken orally, so that's why they are called as pills. Why they are called as pills? Because they are tablets which should be taken orally. That's why they are called as pills, and that's why the name is oral contraceptive pills. Means the tablet which taken orally and that prevent conception. Okay, means prevents a pregnancy. That's why they are called as oral contraceptive pills. Now what that tablet contains or what that pill contains? That pill contains estrogen, or it is a combination of estrogen and progesterone. Okay, it is a combination of estrogen and or a combination of estrogen and progesterone. So what is oral contraceptive pill? The oral contraceptive pill are the tablets which have a combination of either estrogen, only estrogen, or a combination of estrogen and progesterone. They are in a tablet and should be taken orally. Now how this tablet should be taken? Okay, so what is the way to take this tablet? See, you know that in a menstrual cycle of a female, there are total days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14, 15, continue, and up to it may be 28 days. The usual time period of one menstrual cycle is 28 to 29 days. So how this tablet has to be taken? This tablet has not to be taken for initial 5 to 7 days. Break should not be taken. The tablet should be taken from day 7. I will write over here 7. Okay. So tablet should be taken, start to taken from day 7. And it will be taken consecutively, once tablet every morning. So it should be taken for consecutive 21 days. Okay. So it should be start from day 7 and continue to taken by a female for 28 days. Remember, see, oral contraceptive pills that should be used by females only. Okay, it should be taken by females. So it should be taken from the day 7 and continue up to day 28. Okay, then after 28 days, 29 days, or after taking 21 tablets consecutively. Okay, now there is another menstrual cycle starts. That means day 1 of another menstrual cycle starts. So break of another 7 days. For next 7 days, the tablet should not be taken. Then again, it should be taken for 21 days. Then there is a break of 7 days, and this should continue until a lady doesn't want to be a pregnant or doesn't want to conceive. Okay, up till now the process continue. As much as tablet the lady take, means until the time period the lady take this tablet or pills, the lady doesn't conceive or lady doesn't become pregnant. Okay, so this is called as oral contraceptive pill. But there is a disadvantage. It is only used by a female. The second disadvantage is that the tablet has to be taken consecutively for 21 days. And when a lady has to take the tablet consecutively for 21 days and then again a break of 7 days and then again 21 days, then it is a hectic. It is not a suitable method. So that's why the CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute, located at Lucknow, has developed a specific non-steroidal pill called as Saheli. Saheli. This is a pill which is developed by CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow. It is a pill or tablet which should be taken once a week. It should be taken once a week. Okay, every week only one tablet has to be taken, and that makes somewhat easier for a female to consume, because to consume a tablet every day it is very difficult. Okay, so this is a tablet which is developed specifically. Remember, it is a non-steroidal. These are the steroids, estrogen and progesterone. They are the steroids. But here a non-steroidal tablet has been developed by a CDRI, Lucknow, called as Saheli. This is very important question, and it has to be taken once a week. Okay, as they are the tablets, obviously there are few side effects associated with it, that it may causes bleeding, or it may causes the irregular menstrual cycle, it may causes the headache and such type of or behavioral disturbances. Okay, mood disturbances, such kind of a disturbances might going to occur with the use of these pills or the tablets. Okay, so this is called as oral contraceptive pills. Nowadays, to prevent pregnancy in emergency cases, there is a new emergency pills are also available. These are called as emergency pills. These emergency pills should be taken within 72 hours of coitus or sexual act. Within 72 hours of sexual act, such kind of a tablet has been consumed. Okay, 72 hours means approximately 3 days. Within 3 days, this tablet should be consumed. Okay, and once they are consumed, they act as an emergency pill. Only one pill, one tablet within 72 hours of coitus or sexual act, and they prevent a conception. And this tablet is very much useful to prevent a conception or pregnancy in emergency cases, or the pregnancy which may occur as a unwanted sex, or you can say a rape. Okay, pregnancy, the chances of pregnancy may occur due to a rape, such kind of an emergency condition. In that conditions, this emergency pill should be useful. Okay, you might be watching the advertisement on the TV. They are advertising this 72 hours pill. Okay, that should be consumed within 72 hours. If this emergency pill taken after 72 hours of coitus or sexual act, then they are not effective. Means they should not be taken after 72 hours of coitus or sexual act. So this is called as oral contraceptive pills. Okay. Next is fourth one, and today we will discuss, this is the last method. The remaining method we will discuss in the next session. Next is injectables and the implants. It is similarly like these chemicals, estrogen or combination of estrogen and progestogens, but they are given in the form of injection, not in the form of tablets. They are given in the form of injection. As they are given in the form of injections, they have a long duration of actions. Means it should not be taken consecutively. Like here, see, in this case, the tablet has to be taken consecutively for 21 days. Okay, so every day the lady has to take a tablet, and that is very hectic. But here in injectables, once the injection is given, that may prevent a pregnancy for certain time period, or they have been kept an implant. Implant means something has been kept in a body, under a skin. So they releases the small quantity of drug every day. Okay, these chemicals are released every day. So there is no need to take the tablet and injections every day. Once it has been kept, the lady is protected from pregnancy for next 6 months or 1 year, depend on the release pattern. Okay, for how much time the drug is released from this implant. Okay, so this is called as injectables and the implants. Okay, just there is a change in a dosage form. Here it has to be taken orally, modafinil. But here in injectables and implants, they are injected or they should be given some kind of an implant. Okay, so today we have discussed these 4 methods: physical barrier method, 5 methods. First is physical barrier method, second is chemical barrier method, third is IUDs, fourth is oral contraceptive pills, and fifth one is injectables and implants. We will discuss this surgical method and the natural method in the next session. Okay, I again repeat, these methods are very much important. Their ideal properties are very much important, so it is advised to prepare thoroughly. Most of the times the question from this topic is going to ask in examination, and you have to prepare what this method is, how, on what principle it works, what are the advantages of this method and what are the disadvantages of this method. So you have to write according to this. You have to see what this method, on what principle it works, means how it acts, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages. No doubt all the methods are not going to be asked at a time. They will ask either 1-2 methods at a time or only one method at a time. Okay, but yes, surely this is going to be asked in an examination. So prepare it thoroughly. Okay, so that's about these 5 methods of contraception or birth control method. Okay, these 2, surgical and natural method, we will discuss in the next session. Okay, so till then, keep learning, keep watching, like and subscribe this channel. Okay, thank you once again for watching.